Good morning. I'm going to do a special broadcast this morning just for my YouTube subscribers. I'll, I'll probably post this on Facebook a little later, but I, I you can see get up. I'll give you my morning. I get up. I don't get ready. I don't do anything. I make coffee, take care of the dog, and I put on the news. And at the same time, I generally go through my news feeds and a couple of my social media and answer any questions or anything that's happened overnight. So I generally do that before 9 a.m. and then I try to get started and separate myself from the news and everything else that's going on. But yesterday, and even into today, there was a lot of what I call a post Super Bowl, what do you call it, armchair quarterbacking by people who consider themselves, you call them like gurus or, online yeah, I can't even say it, procrastinator. Let's just go with guru. And I just kind of jotted down, and I was like, I shook my head, and I said, you know what? Let me just jot down some of the things that they're saying, and let me kind of like bring this back to a reality. Now, if I were looking to sell you something, okay, if I was looking to sell you some type of a leadership tool, a lot of these things would make sense. But really what we need to do is we need to stop buying our own defeat from strangers. Okay, so and these are the things that people who want us to treat ourselves as if we're in a position of defeat, and we need to bring ourselves out of that by buying their tools. They say things like or buying into their business strategy or whatever it happens to be, and it's not even a strategy. It's a business opportunity. This is what their reasoning for why the team that won actually came back from behind. They refused to be beaten. They didn't quit. They weren't defeated. So they're saying they weren't defeated early in the game. The other team won too soon. You're never too far behind to come back. So the other team became comfortable, complacent, cocky. So what this is assuming is that the Patriots went out in that first. So the Patriots went out in that first two quarters, and they were just, they had defeat. They were playing from a position of not being able to win the game, and but they refused to be beaten, and then they came back and magically. And as a matter of fact, I brought out my, this is just a crystal, but in the old days these were magic wands. I like to use this one. Magically they in the halftime in the locker room, Bill Belichick waved his magic wand and brought them back from defeat. Okay, and so they came back as a whole new team with this magic, thing that they were going to now win. Okay, so they were going to win the battle based on magic. So they, they were first half of the game they were beaten. Probably some of it was, the halftime show, excited them, and like this is what people, this is what they want you to come away with, instead of the reality of what happened. Because the reality of what happened behind the scenes is a lot less sexy, and it's not something that you can sell theory to. Okay, most of these people, they sell you theories, but they don't sell you solutions. Okay, but that's not how these games are played. Okay, so this is really what happened at the halftime. Okay, so the first half of the game, no question, Patriots were getting beaten pretty badly. Okay, they just couldn't score. It wasn't that they had given up on the game. It wasn't that they weren't playing their best. It wasn't, as a matter of fact, if you look, there wasn't a whole lot of penalties or They were just not playing the same game as the Falcons. Okay. Now, second half, that totally switched. So obviously something happened when they left the field and went into the locker room. It had nothing to do with. I'm just going to assume that they refused to be before they ran onto the field. These are pro athletes. I'm going to assume that they refused to be beaten, that they didn't quit, that they weren't going out there with a plan of defeat. I'm going to also assume that there's pro athletes on the other side, the Falcons. I'm going to assume that they didn't stop playing when they came back from the locker room. I'm going to assume that they didn't get comfortable, complacent, or cocky when the other team started scoring and brought the game up. I'm going to assume that it wasn't involved. Luck wasn't involved. These are professionals. There was not. I mean, yes, there might have been a little bit of, somebody just did something just the right way, but that's not luck. These are trained athletes. So it's easy for somebody to tell us and bring it back to us and say, oh, it was luck. It was based on a coin toss. Like, it's easier for us to buy these things, okay, to rationalize them because of, where we are, the position we might be in. But the reality is these are all highly paid, highly trained athletes, okay? So you need to become a highly trained athlete in your own whatever arena, whatever it happens to be, and you need to know what they really did. Okay, it wasn't based on mental, their mental state, or a little bit of that may have played into it, but I doubt it. Again, these people know what's on the line, going out and playing. Does that mean somebody had, may have had a bad day or whatever? But if you're going to tell me somebody had a bad day, was having a bad day, went into the locker room, okay, and somebody else was having a great day and went into the locker room, and these people came out of the locker room, okay, and all of a sudden their whole day switched around? No. Okay, so don't buy into these, these fluffy, pie in the sky, emotional things to get people to spend money. Take your wallet. When you talk to these people, take your wallet out of your pocket and leave it at home. Okay, because all they're doing is trying to make it fluffy, so it sounds like, this is going to fix. You can fix your life by changing your mental state. Now, I'm not going to say that that's not true. Obviously, you need to refuse to be beaten. You can't quit. Okay, you can't go in thinking that you're going to be defeated. You can't become cocky or comfortable or complacent. Okay, all of those things are true, but that's not what happened in the game. That's not how the Patriots came out of the locker room and won the second half of the game. Okay, that's not how the Falcons, kicked butt in the first half of the game. Okay, so what actually happened? Okay, strategy. These games are won and lost based on strategies. Okay, there's not, you're looking at the players playing on the field, and you're looking at the coaches on the sidelines. Okay, what are they doing? They're talking into these things, these headsets. Okay, where do those headsets go? There's people all over that field that are watching those plays. They're watching what's going down. They're building strategies. They're seeing, they go into these games, it's easy for us to watch these games. It's like, the quarterback runs out into the field and he's ready to play. Okay, you looked, what do they have on their arms? Like all these play strategy. Okay, these are all strategies. They're watching game tapes. How is this other team function? Like, what's their, how do they normally play their game? Now, my guess, again, based on watching the game is, if you listen to the commentators, and not just play the game or watch the game and cheer on your team, I tend to listen a little more, probably because I did consulting for years. I listen, okay? The Falcons were not playing their normal game. Okay, you could hear it from the way the commentators were talking. It wasn't their normal strategy. They came onto the field with a different strategy, intelligent, it's bright, because, and for obvious reasons, the Patriots were not functioning based on what they thought the Falcons' strategy was going to be for the game. Okay, so both teams came onto the field expecting X and then did Y. Okay, hurt the Patriots the first half of the game was extremely did extremely well for the Falcons. No one expected the Falcons to get near that. I mean, if you looked at the betting lines and all that stuff, they were guessing that the Falcons were probably going to get maybe one touchdown, okay, against the Patriots. It wasn't the way it was. I mean, it was completely upside down. I was even shocked, and I'm not a Patriots fan. Okay, growing up in New England, I was never a Patriots fan, but they're a good team. They know how to play, and it was just like, this is not. There's something wrong. This is not the team that showed up on the field. Okay, and that wasn't what it was. Patriots had a strategy coming into the game. It was based on how the Falcons normally played. Obviously, the Falcons had a different strategy, and they pulled it off until the halftime. Now, what happens in the halftime? Both teams go off the field, okay? All the people that are up in the stands, okay, that are watching how these players are playing, okay, they're watching the players' actions and reactions, okay? They're looking for openings, okay? Now all of a sudden everybody can regroup. Again, these are professional athletes. These are professional coaches. These are highly intelligent people that are highly paid to do this job. They went back into the locker room and they said, oh, guys, we went into the game with a false assumption that this is the way the Falcons were going to play. It's not the game. Okay? Take that thing off, change it, and put a new one on your arm. Okay? And so what? So now they had 20 minutes, half hour, okay, to regroup and say, look, this is how the game's being played today. You guys need to change change the strategy. Let's strategize. Okay? They used strategies to change the game. They came out of that locker room, all of a sudden, totally new game. Okay? It was like they started from scratch. Didn't have anything to do with being beaten, and you cannot tell me that these are not kids playing, a little league, playing, missing a hit and it throwing their whole game off. They would have never got to the level they're at if where their mental focus was. If I miss a field goal, it's the end of the game for me. No, that's the way you and I might do it because we're not professional athletes. These guys would never get to the level they're at if they were worried about being beaten or quitting halfway through the game, or they had this mindset of defeat, and like they would have never got there. If they had a mindset of defeat, the coach would have been like, I'm not going to pay this person millions of dollars a year, okay, to have a defeatist and a negative attitude is going to come into the locker room after every game. Negative? No way. I don't care if you're the best player in the world. They're not going to put up with it. They're going to say, I can't. This is a team sport. It's not an individual activity. So this is really, it was about strategy. So when people tell you, it's good to have mindset. I mean, if you're going for mindset training, I guess, but none of these people that are spewing this stuff are psychiatrists or psychologists. So they're just throwing stuff out. This is the easy answer. Okay, refuse to be beaten, don't quit, don't be defeaed, don't win too soon. Like those were all the things I saw yesterday. Don't win too soon, don't quit too early. All the things that are, I guess you would say, like if you got $100, $97 tool that you're selling, I guess it makes sense. Don't get comfortable, complacent, or cocky. Yeah, all great stuff. But that wasn't what won or, let's be honest. It wasn't what won or lost that game. It wasn't the coin toss. Like I saw stuff yesterday. The coin toss at the end needs to go because that's what lost the Falcons. No. what lost the Falcons the game was the 2 quarters before that, where the other team was able to score 25 points. Right? That's what lost the game. Okay, it wouldn't have mattered what happened with that second coin toss if the other team hadn't scored, if the Patriots hadn't scored 25 points in 2 quarters. I mean, let's be totally honest. I mean, it's great for the fans and all this other stuff. Oh, they didn't really win, and it was the coin toss. It was all the blah 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 excuses. Okay, that goes into. You might as well put this up here with the. Okay, because what happens is when you use this type of stuff, don't quit, don't be beaten, blah 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 blah. You'll always see that the same people are like the people that use these things, that buy this stuff, are the same people that buy okay, if this stuff doesn't work, we default. That's kind of the default. Okay, if blah blah blah, I was beaten, I was quit, I was defeated, blah blah blah. Those are all excuses. Okay, what you really need is to refocus, and let's refocus on strategies. I teach people strategies. Okay, I don't teach people this fluffy stuff. Like, you don't see fluffy stuff on my page. Don't be beaten, and it's great. Be positive. I'm a positive person, but I just assume the people that are watching my stuff refuse to be beaten. Like, they didn't quit. They didn't get cocky or complacent, or okay. I just assume those are the people that are taking the time to watch this stuff. Just assume that. And the people that aren't are the ones that are going to buy the excuses. Okay, they're just buying into the excuses. So get rid of the excuses. These are all excuses. Be beaten, like that. That's not strategy. Those are excuses. Those are reverse excuses, I would say. Okay, weren't defeated. Blah blah blah. Like, those are reverse excuses. Get the strategies. Like, what are the strategies? What strategies did the Patriots use to win that game? And I'll guarantee you that happened, okay, at the halftime when they went into the locker room. What strategies do you need to incorporate in your business to get ahead of the competition? Okay, strategies. Okay, that's why I teach mobile strategies. Okay, that's what's going on today in my life. Mobile first strategies. Okay, I don't care about any of this other stuff. If the person's defeated, or they're ready to quit or whatever, don't work with those people. Okay, you might be able to sell them a $97 training tool, but keep focusing on the positives and strategies. If your strategy is to work with people that are finding excuses, what's going to happen? Eventually, they're going to run out of those people. Things keep changing. Okay, so what happens is you find fewer and fewer people that are willing to buy those excuses. Then you have to come up with some new excuses or change and go into something else. I got tired of, and those are the people that say, oh, you know what? I have to keep restarting. I don't understand. It's like every morning I got to wake up and I got to push the start button. Every morning I got to wake up because they don't have any strategy. Like, there's no long-term strategy in how do you build this momentum and keep it going. Okay, they hear about momentum, and also, but there's no strategy there. So momentum is like this magical unicorn, along with these other things that, these other unicorns that are basically keeping them from, or these obstacles, I would say, keeping them from getting to that unicorn. Okay, so you got obstacles and unicorns. No strategy. They don't teach strategies. I've never seen any of these people teach real strategies. They never do. And if they're showing you a strategy, what they call a strategy, it's something that stopped working, and now they're trying to sell it. It stopped working for people. So, but people have this comfort level of, oh, I've heard of that before. Okay, so that's why they're buying into what they think is a strategy, but it's really, it's like selling buggy whips. I heard somebody say that on TV the other day. It's like going back and selling buggy whips to people that don't even have horses anymore. So, in any case, have a great day.